If doubting that things will ever get better is against your joy, stop it. If looking at yourself like a used to be, has been, or never been, stop it. If believing the names that your haters have called you is preventing your joy, stop it. Just stop. The promises of God. This is what I was meant to do. And the promises of God are faithful and true. And I'm allowed to walk in them, live in them, breathe in them, have my being in them. And now He has opened this door and I'm allowed to just share them with you. Joy is one of the littlest words that we overlook and take for granted. The definition, according to Webster's, is a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. I'm gonna tell you, everybody knows my roots go deep. My source is Christ. I'm going to take you now to a brother in the Bible by the name of Nehemiah. He was a man who had faith. He had faith. Not only did he have faith, he had great faith. Nehemiah was a cupbearer for a king. Nehemiah had a people who were in trouble. They didn't have joy. And they certainly didn't have a great feeling of pleasure or happiness because their walls had been torn down by their adversaries. Now, I'm referencing to the Bible, but stay with me as we talk about a spiritual joy that is not encumbered by our circumstances or our little old broken lives. See, because Nehemiah was a man just like us. And when we talk about these people who are found in the Word of God, they are not some imaginary creatures. They live, they breathe, and yes, they are dead, but they lived. And, well, I'm not here to glorify Nehemiah. I'm here to glorify joy. And the source of that joy for me is the same as it was for Nehemiah. Now, mind you, he had to go do something that he didn't feel equipped to really do. But he was moved to do it. Like, I don't feel equipped to be sitting here before you trying to share these promises of God. Why? Because, well, if you look around, my life would be much like Nehemiah's. My walls have been torn down. My enemies yell from afar. They accuse me of being stupid. Because that's what they said about Nehemiah. Because when he went to the king, he was a cupbearer. And he told the king that he had this great weight on him, that his people were in trouble. And he wanted to do what he could do to help his people not be in such distress. So I kind of feel like a Nehemiah-ish thing going on right now, because I don't want you to be in distress. You know why? Because of joy. We have joy. And Nehemiah declares that the joy of the Lord is our strength. That got to do with me. Can I tell you this? Before we get into comparisons of each other's hardships and woes, could you take a look at the book of Nehemiah? Read what this man had to go through. And not only did he have to rebuild, he had to fight off enemies to do it. In other words, like, there ain't gonna be an easy way to do it. You gotta fight. You gotta fight for it. You're gonna have to fight for your hope. You're gonna have to fight for your faith. You're gonna have to fight for your joy. Because I'm telling you, just like Nehemiah, there's gonna always be something or someone to try to come up against this amazing joy. I heard a lady said, in order to give joy, you have to deny yourself. And at the time she said it, it was a group of us. And one of the other people said, no! You ain't got to deny yourself to share your joy. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, what is that definition again? Well, we came to this conclusion that if you really, 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 really have joy in you, if you're really working on your roots going deep into that hope and that faith that will give us the endurance through tough times, I'm going to ask you, what is your foundation of joy? Because if your foundation for your joy existed in the external things that are happening in your life, then you're going to be like that first lady. Well, I'm going to have to deny myself to have a little joy. But if your foundation is found in a source greater than you, bigger than your circumstances, then as long as that thing exists, then your joy can never be taken away. Hear me out. Hear me out. Because like I said, I ain't trying to get you to adhere to any religious doctrine or theology. Because what I'm talking about is a relationship and not religion. See, Christ is my source. And like Nehemiah, his strength. What does that mean? His strength. In the fact that no matter what you went through, you ain't went through nothing like he's gone through. The thing that he went through was worse than what Nehemiah went through, you're going through, or anything that I have ever been through. And it was done for joy. It was done that you could have joy no matter your circumstances. He even equipped you with the artillery you need to fight off whatever comes up against your joy. And know that there was a love so great for you that even though he never had to, he chose to hang, bleed, and die. And be rose again. He rose now. But all this was done for us. Not just for the saved. Not just for the churchgoer. Well, not just for the preachers, the deacons, or the choir. He done it for the lost. They about to have to cut the tape because I feel a little joy coming on, you know what I'm saying? Because I was one of those who had no hope, who could not find joy. No matter what I did, I tried to be the best person. I tried to be the best mommy. I tried to be the best friend. I tried to be the best employee. Oh, I can't say employee because I honestly really tried hard in that area. But you know what I'm saying. there was things in my life just like yours, that the only reason they came was to steal my joy. Why? Because without that, we have no strength. We can have no hope, and certainly will not increase in our faith. See, like I said, the only reason I do this is because he's put something in me to share with you. And I don't know who the you is, but I can tell you that joy you are experiencing, it is priceless. And the joy you're not experiencing, even more priceless. Wow. Because of the lack of joy in one's life. It prevents us from seeing the bigger picture. I kind of disagree with the dictionary's version of what it is because it's flawed. Joy is a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. I would like for you to think about this. Joy is a choice. Joy is a decision. Joy is a determination. Because if you don't look at it that way, heck, I can come and take it from you. But if you're determined, if you have made a choice and it is your decision to have and experience and give and feel joy, can't nobody take it. Nobody. If you don't believe me, read Nehemiah. Read it. If you don't believe me, read any book in the Bible that talk about such a great sacrifice we receive to have the right to walk and live and have our being in such a way that we're not the poor ones, we're not the hungry ones, we're the full, we're the fed, and we're the ones who say, look, I'm going to take up my cross. I'm following you. I'm going to come sit here every chance I get, every opportunity that is presented, and say to you, you have the promises of God. And there is no greater promise. The promise to be made rich, it's happened. Full, happy, and whole is done. Now the fight is understanding that, knowing that, and being wise in that. So he secured the joy for us. He secured the hope for us. He's secured the life. And I pray that in this day, that you will start to open up your heart and let the King of Glory come in. Let him come in. Not just church people, all people. I know we're big on separation, but he ain't. The only thing we need to be separated from are the ideologies of the world that promises us hope, that promises us faith, that promises us peace, and promises of joy. But only if. And I don't know about you, but I'm over the only ifs. I need something solid. I need something I can hold on to way, way, way in the midnight hour. Because long after the crowds are gone, I'm dealing with me, myself, and I. And let me tell you something. We don't always agree. Matter of fact, Like Nehemiah, one of my greatest adversaries is what I'm thinking about. Because it's going to be contradictory every time to what the Word of God says about you. Because I ain't never saw one time where I was worthless, pointless, or meaningless in Him. And neither are you. So joy, choose it today. Choose it tomorrow. As a matter of fact, choose it for the rest of your life. If you lack joy, I need you to know there is a source that is unmeasurable. You ain't got to try it because it says so. Try it.